Have you heard this song before? If you're into electronic music, chances are you have. This is the Vako Orchestron, an instrument that shaped Kraftwerk's sound and many others. When you think about this old-fashioned instrument, some questions are raised. Like, why didn't it reach the same fame as a mellotron? Why didn't it evolve as a digital instrument in the 80s, but it was discontinued? And of course, why do bands like Kraftwerk, Yes, and Foreigner have in common? Of course, all of them used this amazing instrument that was almost vanished, leaving the new gens offering from this non-such sonic experience. In this video, let's dive into the fascinating history behind the Vako Orchestron. First released in 1975, the Vako Orchestron was developed by David Van Coveren as a portable, cost-effective alternative to the mellotron. Instead of magnetic tape, it used optical discs to generate its sounds, an innovation ahead of its time. It had beautiful, warm, and realistic sounds, like the mellotron recorded from real instruments. But since it was an optical disc-based instrument, from that time on, musicians could trigger endless sound loops. But in spite of its innovative features, it never reached the same success as its competitor. Owning a good conditioned Orchestron today is nearly impossible. That's because only a few units of the instrument survived over time, but thanks to the modern technology, Orchestron is making a comeback. Exclusive virtual instruments like the Orchestronic faithfully recreates the original sound experience of this instrument while adding a modern touch with modern features for today's music producers. But before we dive deeper into Orchestronic, let's explore the fascinating history behind the original instrument. In the early 1970s, David Van Coveren saw potential in the Optigan, a toy-like home keyboard that used optical discs for sound playback. He refined this concept into the Vako Orchestron, replacing its low-quality samples with professional orchestral recordings. As mentioned before, unlike the mellotron, which used magnetic tapes for its hauntingly beautiful sounds, the Orchestron used optical discs. It made it more durable, but also introduced limitations, such as shorter loop samples and a thinner sound. That's probably one of the main reasons why the mellotron became a prog rock staple, while the Orchestron just survived as a niche instrument over time. Despite its obscurity, the Orchestron found its way into some of the most influential songs in history. We can name Yes Sound Chaser for 1975, that played the violins and the cello sounds. The next one, Foreigner Cold as Ice for 1976, playing the strings. Kraftwerk helped immortalize the instrument with the 1978's The Model playing the chord sounds. The influence of this amazing instrument has transcended the barrier of time. Reed and Caroline used the chord sound in Metatron in 2018, as Leo Goulart used it in Chemical Zone in 2024. Most notably, we can leave to mention New Order's Blue Monday from 1983. That plays the Orchestron chord sample from Kraftwerk's track Uranium, embedding it into electronic music's DNA with this revolutionary sound. There are a few key reasons why the Orchestron didn't become as popular as its competitor, the mellotron. Limited sound library. fewer optical discs were produced compared to the Mellotron tapes. Lower sound fidelity. Optical discs introduced noise and reduced playback quality. It was no cool even for that time standards. Analog synthesizers like the Mini Moog were emerging, turning the market more competitive, and making musicians, bands, and artists think twice before buying a fragile sample-based keyboard when they could own a Mini Moog, a string machine, or a popular synthesizer from that time. Furthermore, the Orchestron was not the most reliable instrument, especially in live performances. Even KRAFTWERK struggled with the Orchestron live in 1981. Some performances reveal Rolf Hutter struggling to sustain notes properly. Vako synthesizers incorporated ultimately failed due to financial struggles and competition. Competing with the Mellotron was an ambitious goal. The Orchestron thin and lo-fi sound didn't appeal to all the musicians, that was limited even to the 1970s standards. It was too rare and an expensive instrument to become a mainstream. The optical discs were fragile, the sample loops were short. Furthermore, Vako lacked the resources to compete with larger manufacturers. Meanwhile, the musical trends were constantly changing. By the 1980s, digital samplers like the CMI Fairlight, EMU emulator, and the Synclavier, along the popular synthesizers like the Yamaha DX7, made the Orchestron and its analog technology obsolete. That was inevitable. This instrument faded away in the obscurity. But there is some hope. Technology innovation brought new possibilities. From the late 1990s and the early 2000s, computers and their digital audio workstations had democratized music production. Today we can easily emulate any music hardware on a single laptop. With the Orchestronic, it was no different. Recently, the instrument was rediscovered by keyboard enthusiasts, with software that can recreate the fantastic sonic experience of the Orchestron. Now you have the chance to bring this legendary vintage sounds to your production with Orchestronic. Try the light version for free, and if you love it, which I'm sure you will, unlock the full version for a complete experience. It's time to keep the past alive while creating the future. Get Orchestronic now. Links in the description. So this was a fascinating history about an instrument that brought technology innovation, struggled to keep alive, it was faded away, and it resurrected thanks to technology. That's a non-such story that deserves your like, so hit the like button and subscribe for more music history content on KOP TV. So long guys, see you in the next one.